Hey guys, welcome to Isaiah's Reviews, and today I'm going to do a review of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I was kind of conflicted on when I left the theater. I didn't know what to think. I didn't leave on cloud nine for sure, and I left like, I guess a little pissed, but the longer it sat with me, the more relaxed I got on that side of it. And then kind of the more confused I got too, because I started doing research, because I tried to stay away from anybody's thoughts, anything written, anything at all really, before I got to see the thing. And then after I watched it, I was like, well, maybe there'll be some clarity out of someone else's opinion and stuff. And I started looking around. Then I just got more confused because I was seeing like 9.7 out of 10 from IGN and other people, like other professional critics, just praising it. And that confused me even more, because it's like, why would these good critics that I appreciate their views on, like, praise it to that level, when I think there were so many mistakes in there that were obvious to me? I mean, it may fill in the blanks later at the episode 9, at the end of that. Maybe they'll go back and touch on some things that they buzz through. Maybe it has a point to it all. But to me, the movie had, great scenes, pow, 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 all the way through. And not enough transition, not enough smoothing out on the transitions from scene to scene, because it was just like cut, boom, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. And it was a short time spent on each one, to where I could never get emotionally attached to each one. It just flashed to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. And then the important stuff that you wanted to see, that you've been waiting to see, the training aspect of it was just glazed over very, very fast. And that was confusing at best. And then you've got Finn and Rose has this storyline together, which I thought they could have done completely without that. They go to this casino. I mean, it's Maz. They call her up, and for no reason, to ask for some code breaker. And then they've got like 15 minutes to go to another planet, to go to a casino and find him and bring him back, because they need him right now, like yesterday, right now. We need it right now. We're about to board. I mean, this is not possible, for one. That timeline's just not realistic at all. And that whole Finn-Rose arc, they could have cut that 20 plus minutes or whatever completely out and dedicated more time to Luke and Rey's journey together, their bond together that they could grow, so that later, like maybe a Force ghost or something to her would mean more later in the next one, if they decided to go that path, which they went that path and killed Luke off in this one. And I don't know, what do you do? I mean, because he's old. He's an old guy. I mean, how do you? I mean, you look at Obi-Wan. He gives himself to the Force with Vader and swing there. And I guess this is sort of an extension of doing the same thing, like giving him a fight, giving Kylo a fight, and come to find out it was just to let the people get away at the end. And I can see that, I can see that part of it, but I just felt like it was so, like we didn't even have any time to even get to know this new Luke, because it was just so pow, 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 so fast, and that was disappointing. I like the Rey Kylo fight, and Snoke getting killed. The more I thought about it, it doesn't bother me, because I think at the beginning, the whole time, it was always meant to be Rey and Kylo story against each other. And they were just like, how can we get some of these older people out of the way from the old story and just make it about Kylo and Rey? Because I think that's honestly what it really is about, this whole trilogy. And that's why they haven't spent this time with it. But this would have pertained to Rey's journey as well, given that time, taking Finn and Rose's crap out completely. They still could, at the end of the movie, they still could have showed the boy using the Force to grab the broom and having the ring and us not even knowing who that is. That could have just gone to some random planet, showing that there will always be Jedi, kind of, to an extent. There will always be a force there to create balance, to help create balance. They could have shown that without ever even showing what planet the kid was from, that whole casino stuff. They could have done without that. I hated that. And spent, like I said, more time on Rey's journey, really, as a whole. And Luke could have just been in the background, and you could see the progression of Rey being able to handle a lightsaber, being able to justify even the battle after they killed Snoke there that she shared with Kylo. I mean, and we get to learn that, her parents were just these bums and stuff. And I don't know if I buy that completely. I still think there's possibly some important connection with her parents to all of it. But yeah, the chase scene, a friend of mine called it a submarine chase scene almost. Like you've got this big boat after a submarine kind of thing in the water, but in space, which is a good point to bring up. But I think that they could have just sent out all these fighters, sent out all this stuff, and just one blast every once in a while, poof, poof, to kill something off, poof, and then still a slow chase. They could have just ended that, and that was just drawn out. That whole thing right there could have been done different to show how they get to that one planet, where it's salt covered and there's red underneath. They could have, hurried off that and gone to that planet and been kind of chased there, and more stuff could have happened at that planet, I think, and that would have been great, instead of just speeding through that location, which was a pretty cool location. It was better than the space thing. But I did like the Leia used the Force when she got blown out into space to come back, because we all assumed that, and it was nice to visually see that. So her part in this movie I thought was fine. I was completely happy with that. I was happy with the moment that she shared with Luke. That was cool. Even the hologram Luke battle thing was fine. I just wanted the more time with the training and stuff. I could have lived with how that Luke died or went away to the Force there at the end. I could have dealt with that fine if they would have balanced out the flow and made more sense and spent more time throughout the movie with him. And then giving that away would have meant more at the end. Instead, it was just scene, pow, pow, pow. No good smooth transitions, no good storytelling in between these major scenes. It was just scene, great idea after another, but nothing in between to balance it all out, to bring it together. And that's what confuses me. How can these critics that critique some of the best movies ever, they give them 8 out of 10s and stuff, that have a solid storyline, really well written dialogue, and then all of a sudden they just give this a 9.7 out of 10. It just makes no sense, especially whenever you go to IMDb and you just cruise through user reviews, 1-star, 3-star, every single one of them, Rotten Tomatoes, critic scores, boom. You're looking mediocre on the user reviews, 57%. I think that is for user reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and then the critic reviews is way up there. I know Disney treats people really well. These premieres are the best movies get. You know what I mean? Does that rub a special spot out for them in that world? I don't know, but these reviews do not reflect the movie that I saw, that I felt like was maybe butchered a little bit in the editing process. But, it's so fine-tuned going into filming. They almost knew they were going to film it this way. And it got approved by JJ to be done this way. Thought it was great. Wish he could have directed it. I mean, is there a point bigger in episode 9? I hope so. And JJ's going to do this one, so I hope it gets better. But for me, The Force Awakens seemed like a more of a film, I guess, than episode 8. But I still liked 8 better than The Force Awakens, because yes, it was pow, shot after shot, not really transitioning, not really storytelling in between these big major scenes, but he took a risk. Rian Johnson took a big risk. I think some of it paid off, like with the Snoke risk. I liked Snoke planting these false seeds in their minds, thinking they were seeing the other person's stuff, and it was really him manipulating and marinating. Is that marinating the puppeteer? Anyway, I liked that. So there were risks taken in this, and I can appreciate risk. So I'm not gonna like dog it completely below a 5 out of 10 or whatever. I'm not gonna dog it that hard, but it just confuses me why they didn't take this stupid section that's in the middle that was so long and dedicate that time to a more important thing, like with Ray being on this island. There was so much adventure that could have been there between the books and the dark side, that pit she goes down into. Nothing happens. I loved seeing Luke, like how he's been carrying on and fishing, and the people on the island. Like there could have been so much of an arc there that could have emotionally tied you to him and them together, that would have meant more whenever he left, and could have come back to visit her in 9 through a Force ghost, and it would have been emotional, because the history, the ties that they had together, the time spent. After deducting my 0.5s, I'm left with a 6 out of 10 for this film, and I thought about it hard. I needed a second viewing. I needed it, but I knew it was going to be into January before I'd be able to get it in the beginning of January. So I really meditated on it, and thought hard, played it over and over and over in my mind again. And 6 out of 10 is where I'm left, because I did like it better than The Force Awakens. It falls behind Rogue One for me personally. I thought Rogue One felt like Star Wars, and the Vader scene at the end, I kind of watched that almost every week or two. Just the end scene. You can look it up on YouTube. You can see the end Vader scene. And I watched that from time to time, a couple times a month at least. And for that to resonate with me that long means that the movie did something that Rogue One did. What is memorable about this? Like whenever I hear Episode 8, a year from now, next month or whatever, what's going to go into my mind? And honestly, it's a missed opportunity to gain an emotional attachment. That's what's going to be missed. And the stupid Finn Rose 20 plus minute whatever crap that they could have dedicated to something else. That's the first thing that's going to pop into my mind. Not the awesome battle between Kylo and Rey, where they were joined together, and Snoke's death. That's not the main things that's going to stick with me when I hear this, The Last Jedi, when I hear that. It's just the missed opportunity. And there was some cool risk in there. If it was just done a little bit different, it had a better payoff for me. So this has been my spoiler review of The Last Jedi. Make sure to explode on that subscribe button and ding that dong so that you'll be notified on the next movie review I do. And of course, I'm going to do some more things with Star Wars probably periodically. And plus, we've got more stuff coming out next year too. Look forward to that. And that's it. See ya.